This week, a major Hollywood director said that streamers like IShowSpeed are killing the movie industry. A Wells Fargo employee died at her desk, and it took a staggering 4 days for anyone to notice. Scientists have just unearthed 1,700 new viruses trapped in the rapidly melting permafrost, and the days of humanoid robots in your home are no longer a thing of the future. All of that and so much more. Subscribe to Oil Alex Up, like the video to avoid a bending over, and let's get crackin'! Okay, right. For the first story of the day, you guys have no idea how excited I've been to just talk about this because it is genuinely fascinating, I promise you. Question: why does Hollywood hate IShowSpeed right now? So the question comes at a time where a pretty big Hollywood producer took a moment at the Venice Film Festival press conference to say a few words about the state of Hollywood in general right now. He believes that Hollywood is starting to crumble right now because it's losing its most talented and creative minds to streamers like IShowSpeed and Kai Cenat. He suggests that all of those kids maybe 10, 20 years ago that would have wanted to go into the movie industry and become actors, directors, writers, now instead of movies, watch people like Kai Cenat and Speed and go on to want to be gamers, content creators, and streamers.
And then all those kids that are so creative are now just going to find other outlets and go other places because movies are no longer the dominant art form. Always they were the dominant art form, but nothing is linear anymore.
And to be honest, he just says things that everyone else is feeling right now about Hollywood. I mean, come on. Everything they seem to be producing right now is a reboot or a sequel of something. I've seen someone put a list out of this year alone. It's shocking. And to be fair, there are valid reasons for that. The main one being, and maybe the only one, money. Matt Damon actually on this topic put it very, very well. He said that one of the things that dramatically changed the filmmaking business structure is the loss of DVD sales. He said that back then, you could afford as a movie producing company to not make all of your money in the opening weekend at the cinema. Because you know that once the DVD sales come along, it's almost like a second re-release and it's a big, spur of money behind the project again. A big influx of more cash. But now, without that, things have changed a lot. If it's not a movie idea that's going to get a whole bunch of people in the cinema that weekend, it suddenly becomes a massive gamble. And keep in mind, a lot of these Hollywood movies literally take hundreds of millions of dollars to produce. And no one wants to gamble with that kind of money. So naturally, the safe option is to make sequels of really popular previous movies, reboots of previously popular movies. And then of course, just the blockbusters that are amazing to watch in this. They're only amazing to watch in the cinema. But what that lack of risk and creativity costs is the loss of all of that young talent that, used to watch these movies when they were young and be inspired and wanting to do that one day themselves. And now you got a whole bunch of kids being inspired by watching hours of streaming on YouTube and TikTok. And it's not just Hollywood. We are seeing this same trend across other traditional sectors like news, for example. These old traditional industries are refusing to evolve. And in doing so, they are creating a vacuum, a demand for something fresh and new. Enter creators like myself that step in. I mean, I love the idea of being a journalist and talking about news, but I didn't like the idea of doing it like that. Alex, be very careful with the things that, you put here when I suggest there. I don't want to get a lawsuit for a passion-filled rant. Well, I'm interested to know what he puts there. And now, just imagine being a kid in 2024 that wants to be a journalist when they grow up. You're faced with two paths. You could work at a traditional news corporation where you're told what to do, what stories to cover, and where everything you create is owned by the company. Or you could go the independent route, be your own boss, cover the stories that you want to cover, that you're passionate about, present them in your own style, and most importantly, own everything you create, not just get paid to create it. I mean, given the two paths, it is a no-brainer for a lot of the young, creative minds. And ironically, the more these industries cling onto convention and doing things the old way, the more it pushes away the very people it needs to breathe new life into the industry. And that is literally the cycle we are in right now. Are they going to continue to go down the same safe, predictable path? Or are they going to start taking risks and evolve and once again inspire the next generation? I mean, honestly, only time is going to tell, but one thing is for sure. The creative landscape is changing. And right now, a 19-year-old kid with one cameraman is seen as competition to companies that have hundreds of employees and billions of dollars. That is wild. The power of the individual. Moving on. All right, this next one is genuinely, absolutely shocking. We are just finding out that a Wells Fargo employee died at her desk, and it took somehow 4 days for anyone at her work to notice. Authorities say that 60-year-old Denise Prudhomme entered her Wells Fargo office building in Arizona at 7 a.m. on Friday, 16th of August. An employee who asked to remain anonymous in fear for her job spoke to 12 News and said that multiple people working on those days complained of a foul odor, but assumed that it was due to plumbing problems. I can't even. The picture of that is... What a wild segue, talking about these companies, hey, that treat you like just a number and are nothing. This employee added that the only reason they even discovered her when they did was that her boss emailed her, and when she didn't reply, a colleague was told to go and check on her at the cubicle that she normally sits at. And only then is when they made that horrifying discovery. And to make this even crazier is that the building has 24-hour security. So this employee said they should have found her sooner. I don't even know how this makes any sense. You know, like, they did say that her cubicle was a little bit out of the way, but 4 freaking days? What's the... Lost for words. Do they not have cleaners that come in? Does she not have a single friend that over those period of 4 days wanted to just speak to her? Check on her. What about her home? She must have been living alone because, otherwise our husband and our kids, someone would have checked up. I mean, hell, if Alex doesn't reply for 1 hour, I start stressing. So, absolute insanity. That is crazy. Let's move on. Okay, talking about absolute madness, I cannot believe I even need to say this. It is absurd. But do not try the chase money glitch, okay? You are literally being trolled into going to jail if you do. So, backstory to this. Last night, a bunch of videos went viral on TikTok and X about this major Chase bank system glitch, which apparently would allow you to withdraw a bunch of cash that, of course, you didn't have from your account. Now, the claim goes that if you deposited a fake check into your account, the glitch would allow you to withdraw that money before the check is verified. So, yeah, you get all this money for nothing. Only problem is, that's not a glitch. That is one of the oldest and most common forms of just straight up financial fraud. I mean, have we not watched Catch Me If You Can? It's literally the plot for that movie, but I get it, right? This thing got tens of millions of views. And, people under 25, like myself, I've never used a check before, right? I don't really even understand the concept of a check. So do a whole bunch of other people not understand. And because of that, a bunch of people who saw these videos on X and TikTok actually tried it. Why? Videos of people lining up outside of Chase this morning only made the frenzy grow and made it feel more real. Oh, they're doing it. I better jump on this too. Free money. Doesn't help that the cost of living crisis is
Corn Casserole
right now. And this whole thing is now causing people to just commit accidental fraud, but real fraud nonetheless. And I mean, the thing is like, even if there was a money glitch that allowed you to withdraw money that you didn't have, because, it's not like that's never happened before, it is still illegal. They have all of your information, okay? It's not like you're a stranger. They have your passport, and they're just gonna charge all of that money right back to you. And you will be exactly like this guy who is now learning after falling for this. All of these posts. Play it, Alex.
Fuck, man. They really told me to tap in. Next day I was supposed to clear and look at my account, yo. Bro, what the...
Man, honestly, I I feel for him. But I guess at the same time, that's it. Why don't play money games with the bank, because we will lose every time. They know the game better than us. All right. Moving on. Also, popping off this week, scientists just unearthed, a cheeky little bastards, 1,700 brand spanking new viruses just dropped in the chat. Nah, it's not great. The viruses basically came out of the rapidly melting permafrost. But the real shocker of all of this is the reason they were even searching in the first place. Permafrost around the world, which have been frozen for thousands of years, are melting at an unprecedented rate. Alex, cue the violin. And with that comes two main concerns for scientists. The first being that all of that valuable knowledge which is stored within that ice is no longer permanent. Once melted, all of that historical information that's conveniently frozen in time for us to learn from will be lost forever. And secondly, ancient viruses, which we have no protection from, thawing out, are becoming a serious concern for the future. You want an example? Huh? How this could actually just wipe us all out? Well, look no further, because in 2016, one child died and dozens more were hospitalized in Siberia after a heat wave thawed out the permafrost and unearthed a reindeer carcass which was infected with anthrax decades ago. 2,000 reindeer died in that outbreak. And you want to know more? There's plenty more. So, with these concerns in mind, researchers are racing to collect samples that could help them learn about how viruses evolve throughout thousands of years, because right now, we only understand how they evolve over, a short outbreak. Thousands of years could be helpful. And also, they're trying to identify and study new viruses in the chance that they pose a risk, but also a potential little cheeky benefit to humans. But mainly the risk, but sometimes a benefit. You want another example? Yeah, well, I've got one for you. And this is not even a joke. One scientist injected himself with a 3.5 million year old bacteria strain, which he revived from the permafrost, after his data showed that it extended life in certain animals. And then he claimed that since he's injected himself 14 years ago, not only has he not died, but he says that he hasn't been sick once. So if Bros found the, elixir for permanent life, it would be from something like that, wouldn't it? But rest assured that the most new discovery of these 1,700, they were neither helpful or harmful to humans. So sleep well at night, knowing we're just in a constant state of neither good nor bad. It's gray, a lot of gray. Moving on. Now, I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about the next one because it's a little bit creepy, okay? Talk about the last one, now this one's even creepier. Humanoid robots in your house, just working for you. No longer a thing of the future, really, because this week, 1X, that's the name of the company, shocked the world by releasing the first look at Neo. Name it something better, right? Neo? I don't want to call him Neo. What's a better name for this? I don't know. Alex. Let's name our robot Alex. Now, Alex is designed from the ground up to be a consumer robot. In other words, your ethical slave. Bing! Yes, absolutely anything you want it to do around the house, chore-wise, not anything in general, it'll do. That's what it's designed for. Unload the dishwasher, hang up the laundry, make the bed, kiss you goodnight, oil you up. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And to make Alex less intimidating and dangerous, Alex stands at a short king 5'4" and a skinny king 29 kg, you light little bastard. I could take Alex in a fight, 25 kg. I mean, real Alex? What is real Alex's dimensions? I'm pretty sure bro told me that he's like 7 foot. Maybe not the real Alex. I'll take the fake Alex. The robot Alex. Yeah. Anyway, what am I doing? And if you're wondering why Alex looks like a freaking roadman in a tech fleece, well, that's to prevent you from pinching or crushing your fingers if you were to get physical, For only the physical of moving him. That's it. Alex can run at a speed of 7.5 miles per hour, carry 25 kg maximum, and has a runtime of 2 to 4 hours, depending on the activity. Now, I'm seeing a cord in there. Now, if Alex is got a freaking cord and mumbling about the house, I'll pass. I don't want a cord. I don't want to trip on a freaking... What a loser, Alex. And here's the thing I hear a lot. The reason it needs to be modeled after a human is because everything we've built in this world is designed for human form. Yes, it makes it a little bit more creepy, but it's easier. And here's the kicker for all of this. 1X is preparing pilot Alex robots to be deployed in select homes later not in 2025, not in 2026, this year, 2024. So, I mean, the ultimate question is, you have a friend, you walk into his house, you see he or she has one of these, just, unloading the dishwasher as you walk in. Does your perception of them become, you're a freaking creep, or wow, you're so cool, you're so progressive and like on the cutting edge of everything? Which one? Let me know in the comments. Moving on. Okay, I want you guys to imagine something for a second. Going to jail for 1.5 years for swearing. It's what happened. It's true.
Corn Casserole.
So this happened in court recently, and the defendant was actually only there for misdemeanor trespassing, which often doesn't even come with a prison sentence. But when the judge decided to set a court date for his hearing, this happened. Ooh, so silly.
You guys could issue a warrant as long as I don't return. You can kiss my ass.
No. I'm gonna tell you what. You don't come here. You don't. Okay, that's contempt. That's 93. Keep going. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
Yes, bro got 6 consecutive contempt charges worth 93 days in prison each. And the next defendant in line, hearing this whole thing go down, was shook.
That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
How you doing, Your Honor? How you doing, sir?
And yes, if you were wondering, this is the same judge from that Corey Harris trial. Like, this guy just needs a show of his own at the mall. Like, get rid of Judge Judy, put this guy in. So I guess the question is, is 1.5 years for swearing fair or harsh? Moving on. Actually, before we move on, the 3 sacrificial lambs from last video's comments are right here. All right, get on the wall. Okay, today's 3 sacrificial lambs. Get ready. Like the freaking video, you sillies. Like the video. Scary
Corn Casserole.
huh? Remember, like the video right now. Or else. Okay, guys, I think it's time for a bit of kumbaya rapid fire news. Starting yesterday, if anyone in Brazil tries to use Twitter with a VPN, they will get fined $9,000 a day. And also, after banning the app, they have told Apple and Google to remove it from their app stores within the next 5 days, or else. This is the kind of treatment that TikTok gets. I'ma be shook. And keep in mind, there is about 40 million people that use Twitter in Brazil each month. That is more than the entire population of Canada. You hear that, Alex? Crazy. And if you're wondering why, basically Brazil got pissed at X for not complying with certain requests to ban accounts that they said was spreading misinformation. And if you're thinking, that's just Elon Musk taking his free speech quests too extreme, well, not exactly, because the Brazilian government have also temporarily banned Mark Zuckerberg's WhatsApp and Telegram for similar things. So if multiple foreign countries have had ethical concerns with removing certain stuff at the request of the government, I think there's more to the story than just it's Elon Musk. Next! Oh, okay, this one's good. So if Ozempic wasn't a craze problem before, it's gonna go crazy now. That's because new research suggests that Ozempic, a diabetes drug that a bunch of people now use for weight loss, and it's become like the Hollywood drug, may actually have significant positive effects beyond its initial purposes. Studies indicate that the drug not only reduces obesity-related risks, but also lowers mortality from cardiovascular causes and COVID-19. The drug's benefits even potentially extend to improved cardiometabolic health, potentially slowing down the aging process, according to this. But I mean, come on, before you start taking that as gospel and lining yourself up with these things, I think it's an injection. Yes, it does come from research, but if this research was funded by companies in the pharma industry, Next! I have a question. Who the hell is running America right now? Because President Joe Biden was seen on vacation at the beach in Delaware for a second consecutive weekend. I mean, it's so crazy because as soon as he announced that he wasn't, gonna run again, it almost feels like he's completely disappeared. I mean, I'm looking at the news every day and it literally went from everything being about Biden to nothing being about Biden at all. If you were just like looking at what the media is putting out every day, it literally feels like Kamala Harris is a ready president at this point. Anyway, despite all the beach outings, you know, Biden's team emphasizes that he is committed to his presidential duties. Don't you worry. I mean, come on. Anyway, the president of the United States can't take a couple little weekends off. Doesn't have that many left. Don't put that in. That's Next! Okay, and for our last story of the day, I want to play you guys a video because it is probably the most American thing I've ever seen.
There is a siren! Get in here! Forget about our packages! Come in! You are the bravest Amazon delivery driver ever! What's your name?
Kayla.
Kayla, high five. I said come in, not bring our packages. There's literally a siren. A siren outside because there's a tornado coming and she brings our package in. Unbelievable.
Hi, I'm Molly.
I mean, come on. For all of the shit that Americans get for, you know, being Americans, this is the side of the US that I actually love the most. I mean, maybe you won't understand if you don't live in a European country, but if something like this happened in England, like there is no way anyone is inviting a stranger into their home. They'd politely ask for their package and say, get home safe. Yeah, completely understand. They might just die that they've sent them away. I mean, small talk with strangers, let alone inviting them into your house, is just not a thing here. And I mean, I have no idea why, but I loved it when I was in America. It's just so nice to be able to just chat with randomers. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up. Do not forget to like and comment, and I will see you midweek sometime at this point. But what that lack of risk and creativity causes is the loss of all of those young people that watch those movies when they're kids, wanting to be inspired to make something. What? Why would I phrase a sentence like that? It is the longest dribble in the world.